Looks fancy, huh?
Very fancy. I'm not used to this.
I know, a little bit fancier than last time you were here.
Indeed.
All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Staudt on Sports Live without Tim Staudt. We are joined by Joey Ellis. How are you?
Good. Wish
Yeah?
I was on the golf course.
I was going to
like
say
Tim, but
golfing like Tim and Seth and Kellen and everybody else.
It's a
But
good day for it.
you're here. And you're here to talk some MSU, though, which I know you
Yes.
are happy to talk about.
Yeah.
2 games today, both ended in 6-4. First, baseball advanced over Rutgers in the Big Ten tournament. And what are your thoughts on that? They
Yeah.
advanced 6-4.
Weird, wacky game. It was a double elimination game. Michigan State had to, find a way to win to move on, and really wacky game. They had a couple of bases loaded walks that they gave up in the 5th inning, and then Wyatt Rush, the Grand Ledge native, came in the 5th, let up 1 hit, and then was really good the rest of the way. He pitched 4 2/3 innings. It was a career high for him. He really had to go the distance, and Michigan State kind of answered in the 8th, and they got back-to-back bases loaded walks and to actually take the lead and put 2 in that inning. And then again, Rush was able to close things out. Michigan State gets their first conference tournament win in over 2,000 days since 2016.
Woo.
So it's a big win for them for sure. And now it sets up a potential rematch with top seed Maryland tomorrow, or Nebraska, the winner of that game. But MSU already played. Maryland lost 3-2 on Tuesday in the first game. So we'll see who they will get tomorrow. That game, I think, is played at 7 p.m. later today. So
This is the video, the final out on the MSU baseball Twitter, too. So
still not a lot of people there, but
nope.
it's weekday college baseball. It's
Omaha.
and
It's
a good venue though.
Yeah,
That's
it
why they
is.
play College
It is
World
really
Series, and it's an awesome venue. But again, on a Thursday afternoon, first pitch was 11 a.m. their time.
Yeah.
So, good win for MSU. They needed it.
They
Keep
did.
their postseason hopes alive.
And then you were covering MSU tennis.
Yeah.
The doubles team of Barris and Sheldon, they were really good this year.
Very
but
good, yes.
Their season has now ended.
Yeah, they were.
Just before you walked over here, actually.
Yes, I was keeping tabs. They lost the first set 7-6, and quite the tiebreaker there against, I believe, Georgia Tech.
Yep.
And then second set 6-4, tight 2-set battle there. But him and Max Sheldon, the freshman, all Big Ten player, freshman of the year, and then Max Sheldon, just a sophomore. They were pretty much in the top 10 nationally all of the spring season, and they had an outstanding season. I believe if they would have won this match, I don't know how it works with Max. I believe Ozan would have had the chance to have garnered All-American status as a freshman.
Okay.
I believe that's how that works if you make it into the quarterfinals. So great season for them, tough one for them. I know Michigan got one guy through in singles into the Final Four, Andre Styler, who actually played Ozan earlier in the season and beat him in a tough 3-set battle. So, if you're MSU and you're Ozan and just a freshman, he's kind of right there with a guy who's now into Michigan's first Final Four, I think, in 33 seasons, which is pretty crazy considering how good that program's been.
Older than the players.
I know.
Yeah.
Literally. So, that's what's going on there. MSU is now out of the national tournament, singles and doubles in Orlando. But heck of a run. We'll see if Ozan comes back. I know he wants to play pro tennis. I don't know if he'll be back next year, but either way, it's been a heck of a year to follow him in MSU tennis for sure.
And we were talking about the Ford Field game. MSU's game against Penn State has now moved to Ford Field. What are your thoughts on that? Because I know Tim had some.
I don't even know what Tim said, but I'm sure I can
Thanks for
guess.
watching.
I'm sure I can guess. I don't like the idea of regular season college football games moving to off-campus sites,
Okay.
but I do understand it from, chasing TV and chasing network money and whatnot. And that was kind of the deal. I think Michigan State and Penn State both were doing NBC and the Big Ten a favor with that whole snafu of that alleged NBC deal that really didn't exactly lock in those primetime games that previous commissioner Kevin Warren thought he had.
And didn't quite have.
Did not quite solidify. So I think this is both schools kind of helping them out. And also, the last 4 or 5 years of that last home game for Michigan State, attendance-wise, has not been good. It's been off by 20, 25,000.
It can be a really nasty weather
It's
weekend.
It's normally gross.
Yeah.
It's the holiday weekend, so you got a lot of kids home. And, you factor that with the weather, and not to mention it would be a 7 p.m. game. It'd be insanely cold at that point in November. And honestly, I think they're probably going to get more fans in Ford Field. I think there'll be a lot of Penn State fans.
That's what I think, too. I think there'll be a lot of Penn State fans that are willing to go more so if it's at Ford Field on a
Yeah,
holiday
and
weekend.
And you'll get a lot of like the Metro Detroit MSU fans who, I mean, the hour and a half drive is nothing here, but
No.
to East Lansing, but who are just in the area and might be like, all right, let's make a weekend out of this, because then you're going to have that. You're going to have Lions football in that same week, and then MHSAA football in 2 days. So if you like football, it'll be a good
It's a
weekend
good
to be there
time
for
to be in
sure.
Detroit.
Yes, it is.
All right, well, we're going to move on from college, and we're going to move to the NHL finals, which could be set tonight after the Panthers not only beat the Canes, they swept the Hurricanes, which I did not see coming.
Although it was hard-fought sweep, I believe maybe even 3 out of the 4 games, all overtime. That first
Oh my gosh, that first one.
game that went almost 5 overtimes and ended
Yes.
at, I think, 1:54 in the morning. Really good series. I honestly been a little bit more intrigued in the NHL playoffs this year than the NBA for whatever reason, but it's weird because now on the other side, you've got in the West Vegas up 3-0 on Dallas.
No.
Still hard-fought series as well there, but kind of interesting seeing more of an upstart team like Vegas, who I guess been around a couple years now. But
They made the finals their first year, which is really cool.
Crazy.
But,
And they've put it together, and it's cool seeing a couple teams that you don't necessarily get used to seeing in these finals, and without the Bostons and whatnot. So, I mean, if Vegas moves on, I think that's going to be a heck of a series.
I really, really wanted it to be Dallas and Carolina.
Yeah.
And I
was
had a
hopeful for
reason.
Carolina.
I wanted Joe Pavelski to
Yeah.
go up against Brent Burns for
Okay.
their first cup. One of them was going to win it.
Does Brett Burns still have that insane beard?
Yes, he does.
Ugh.
But one of them, they chased it for so long with
Yes,
San
they
Jose.
did. Holy.
And then if they met in the finals, one of them would have to win it, and one of them would have to. I thought that would be so cool. But
2 wily vets.
I don't know.
Been around for a while.
Well, it's not just NBA finals. It is also, or NHL finals. It's also NBA finals, and
It
that
is.
could also be set tonight.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this one?
I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. You get a lot of people with the notion that, although Boston's in the 3-1 hole and no team's ever come back down 3-0, that Boston is maybe the better team in this series. Which I don't know how much truth there is to that. You're down 3-1 for a reason. Miami's outplayed them pretty much every game. Boston looked desperate in Game 4 there in Miami, and we'll see though. They could make it interesting. If they win tonight, Boston's going to be rocking as it is going into that game. So if they're able to get a win and kind of swing the pressure and momentum back on Miami to get back into a closeout game in Game 6 back in Miami. I'm not saying it's likely they come back all the way, because it's never been done for a reason.
Right.
But
There's always the first time, though.
I mean, Boston's good when they're clicking, but Miami looks kind of like it's their time to move into the finals again.
What happens in South Florida if both the Heat and the Panthers win?
They shut down the state. They shut down the state.
Because it could happen.
I know, it is kind of. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They've never had to deal with that before, so.
Panthers technically play at a sunrise, but it's
Right.
Miami.
Right.
So
It'll be rocking, for sure.
that'd be so cool. Okay, I changed my mind. I kind of want Miami and Florida to win.
I'm pulling for it.
All right. Well, you and Fred are working very hard today. What is coming up on the sports desk tonight?
We've got, what round are we in? Day 3 action of the Diamond Classic baseball.
Okay.
Today we've got Game 1, Okemos and DeWitt, DeWitt's playing a lot better down the stretch here, and Okemos is pretty solid as well. And then Portland and Grand Ledge, who just split a doubleheader just 2 weeks ago, so they'll play in the nightcap. And should be 2 really good games. And then we'll have the Hall of Fame Softball Classic Championship game tomorrow night, and then a lot going on the next couple of weeks, finishing up baseball, softball districts, postseason, more Diamond Classic to follow next week at Michigan State. So a lot going on.
All right. It's that time of year.
It is.
So tune in at 90 Minutes News, starting with First at 5. You'll see more sports from them, and, of course, the highlights at 11. And thanks for tuning in.
Thank
I think
you.
That's it.